Welcome everybody to the Route 66 Prairie. I'm Glenn Savage. It's June 2020, the 16th. I'm here with Henry Eilers, and Ray Lubert is handling the camera, and Henry's going to make a few comments for you.
Why don't we start a little bit at the beginning?
That's what I want.
See
That's
it.
what we want.
And I go back a couple of decades. We collected seed here. This was mowed on a fairly regular basis. It was, and it still is, property of the Illinois Department of Transportation, of course. And of course now they've turned it over to us, the Natural Area Guardians, or NAGs for short, of which we're all active participating members. And when we were, without going through the details there, collecting seed here between mowings, when they didn't always get done right during the summertime, maybe later or earlier, we found more and more plants here that piqued our interest. So it wasn't just a highway fescue piece, it was a little bit of prairie we found out. Then with thorough observation, we saw more and more interesting plants, and then eventually we wound up with a memorandum of understanding with IDOT to manage this as a prairie. And as it turns out, it's probably underneath that fescue, I should say was, because we went into control of those items that are not part of the original prairie. So it probably is one of the very best prairie remnants in southern Illinois, believe it or not. It's been fun to manage it, and now that we have opportunity for visitors to explore it, because we have parking, we have a more than adequate nature trail here, and we will install adequate, hopefully, educational, informational signage. It will be something that the visitor can enjoy. Those that like flowers and butterflies will see a great number of flowers starting already in April. Right now in June, the prairie cone flowers, this one is planted, but we have them elsewhere in bloom. Here we're doing restoration because this is obviously a work site, reclaiming the areas here after construction. So we have the late bloom on the white flowers over there, the beard's tongue, that was quite spectacular early on. We still see a few Ohio spider plants, spiderwort out there in bloom. The milkweeds will be coming into bloom, especially the less common Sullivan's milkweed is in full bud out there, and we're waiting for monarchs. They are a little scarce this year, maybe because we had so much wet weather and other reasons. Of course, this is also part of a monarch recovery project, some of the financing behind it, and that's a whole other story. So there are a lot of stories here, but the visitor can see a little bit of what this land might have looked like when we have 22 million acres of prairie in Illinois alone. And this little 10-acre patch is a bit of what's left with a very strong southern influence. And so it has unique characters that the uninitiated visitor will not see and will not appreciate, and I don't say that lightly, because it took us decades to become fully aware of what the resource out here is, and we're learning every day. So it is a learning experience, probably for everyone. It's a bit of a wet prairie, seasonally wet. So we have lots of plants that are not grasses, but they're called graminoids. And those are the sedges and the cyperus. There's cyperus pendula over there. But just a ton of wetland plants. It's a seasonally wet soil. Our previous president was a soil scientist, and he did a marvelous description of the soils here. And for anybody in agriculture, horticulture, soils are important. And the soil here is very unique. It has a very strong sodium influence, so it's alkaline in some ways. And that's not common around here. It's not calcium, it's sodium. That influences the plant composition too. And one of the things that probably is favored by the alkaline soils, and again that's the education aspect, is this grass here. Well, part of it anyway. That's eastern gamma grass, and that is at the northern edge of its range here, and it curves all the way down into the coastal prairies of Texas. So we're very, very fortunate to have eastern gamma grass here. And you might say, who cares? Well, it's the closest relative to corn that we have. And corn is important, but corn has replaced eastern gamma grass out there, because now the 22 million acres are corn and beans and corn. So this is a precious remnant of the vegetation that formed the rich soil that our Midwestern agriculture and our whole economy is really based on. So the prairie tells all kinds of stories. Hidden stories would also be the prairie insects, of which we have very many out here, know very little about. We even have reptiles out here, and most people don't care for reptiles, but they keep the rodents under control. It goes on and on.
Talk about the prairie crayfish.
Well, hey, that's just another one of the on and on stories. We would probably have to look too far around here. Glenn, do you have a crayfish barrel? Anyway, we must have tens of thousands of crayfish out here. And they are
down there at the back of it.
Tiny little crustaceans in the lobster family. And they tunnel down to the water table. So even though this ground here seems to be very inhospitable because it's hard as rock when it dries, the crayfish tunnel down to the water table, and thereby they aerate the soil, and they're basically detritus eaters, eat organic decaying material. So they improve the soil structure, and again they, along with the prairie roots, very much played a part in making the rich prairie soils that we enjoy today.